Okay, so let's try to get all on the same page here. We are going to create one side of our box so that we can laser cut it. We are going to first change our measurement. So I click this drop down. You see that we have millimeters, and we'll go change that to inches. On the right hand menu, we'll click OK. Let's go ahead and go to create sketch. And what we have here are our 3 planes and our 3 axes, okay? So our blue line is our z-axis, our green line is our y-axis, our red line is our x-axis. What we want is the plane that's in between the green and the red. We want to be in between our y-axis and our x-axis. Alright, you can use these tools down here at the bottom to help you maneuver if you don't have a mouse. Our pan tool, you click that, you can kind of drag your work plane around. Hit escape when you're done with that. You can zoom in, so you can click your zoom, click on the screen, and then you can zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in. Alright, escape. And then once we start getting to some three-dimensional stuff, you might use your orbit tool as well. While we're in this create sketch here, we'll go ahead and throw a rectangle down. So 2-point rectangle, I'll click a point, and then I'll bring it out. Right now, we are going to create a box that has a length of 6 inches. So I'll just type 6 and then hit tab. And then what I'll do is type 12. So once I have my 2 measurements, I had 6 inches, then I hit tab to go over to the next one. I'll put in 12 inches, I'll hit enter. Alright, so one thing you might want to do here is use your zoom. We'll click, and then we'll zoom out, 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 out. Alright, let's get a little bit closer. Somewhere in there. Alright, escape. Another thing that we can do is create a tab, but we're not going to do this in this sketch. We're going to do it in another sketch. So let's hit finish sketch. If you click this drop down for your sketches, your sketch 1 is that box that we just created. So we'll actually create another sketch, create sketch. We want the same plane, so you can click right on the box, you can click in the on the graph itself, and then we see that sketch 2 pops up. We're going to do the same 2-point rectangle, but with different dimensions. And then we can actually zoom in. You can use your zoom tool here. I have a mouse, so I'm just going to use my wheel. And then we'll kind of put that on the corner there. So we want to match our tabs up with the material that we have. You can do, which is 5 millimeters thick. How do we make this 5 millimeters when our measurement unit is inches? So we'll just type in 5 mm tab 5 mm, and then our computer program adjusts for the measurement that we put in, and we'll hit enter. One thing I would do is zoom in, click, let's zoom in, and you can see that our tab isn't on the corner where we want it to be. We'll use this constraint that's towards your top here called coincident. So what we'll end up doing is saying, hey, this corner of the tab, I need you to be over here and match up with this corner of our rectangle. So we'll click coincident. We want both of those items to line up here, so we'll click that first. And we want this corner of our tab to match that, so we want it to move up there. We'll click that second, and bam, there it goes. Alright, so we'll hit finish sketch from that point. Now, what you could do is sketch multiple tabs along this edge. So when we zoom out, could sketch multiple tabs along that edge. But actually, what we're going to do now is extrude, which makes our design three-dimensional. And then what we'll do is basically make a pattern of this tab across as many as we want. Alright, so let's hit escape off of our pan tool. we will go to extrude here, and then the first thing we'll do is extrude a rectangle. The cool thing about this program is it asks you what you need in order to complete the operation. So you see it has a profile, so we click this profile and it says one selected. Right now we are just going to keep all this stuff the same except for our distance. We're going to say that's 5 millimeters. We're going to match it up with our material thickness, and we want this to be a new body, so we want to make sure that stays new body. Sometimes it'll jump in to join, cut, intersect, but we want new body. We'll hit OK. Alright, we're going to do the same thing with our tab. We're going to go up here to extrude, and then we have that tab selected. If you don't have it selected, just go ahead and click the tab and one selected. If you click more than one thing that you don't want selected, you can just hit this X here and then go back and click the things that you need. We are also going to do a distance of 5 millimeters. Alright, now you can see at this operation that it says join. That would join this tab with this box. At the moment, we do not actually want that. We want new body again. And the reason why we want new body is because when we make this pattern, we don't want to copy the rectangle and this little tab multiple times. We only want to create the tab multiple times. So we'll hit OK. Alright, and now we're on to creating this pattern. So we'll go rectangular pattern, which is up here. And then it asks us our pattern type. So basically, are we doing, right now it asks faces, which is like the top face of this. But we want the whole thing. So we'll go down to bodies. It asks us what objects we want this tab. And then it asks us what direction we want to go. We'll select that, and then we want to go along this line right here, okay? As of right now, what we're going to do is extent. So it says like over what distance are you going to do this? And then depending on how many tabs you want, you'll change that right here. For now, I'm going to move that to 4. And then we'll do a distance of 12 inches. But when we zoom out, we see that 12 inches does not work. The reason 12 inches doesn't work is because our last tab starts at 12 inches. So we need to make a little adjustment there. So we'll do 12 inches minus 5 millimeters. So our tab was 5 millimeters in width, so that's why we did the minus 5 millimeters. The rest of the stuff doesn't matter because we are only doing a pattern in one direction. But if you decided to do a pattern in 2 directions, this would be the second step to that. And then we'll go ahead and hit OK. So at this point, we should be able to click on our tab. So we can click on these individually, which is great. That's exactly what I want. I am actually going to hold Shift on my keyboard. Click, click, click. Oops, let's get this tab in. Alright. And then let's right click. We'll move copy. And then what we'll do is I want to do translate first, but then I want to create a copy. So we're creating a copy of these tabs, and then we should be able to move them to the other side of our box. So if this is our Y, we should be able to go -6 inches and get something on the other side. But you see, it's -6 inches, but it's still inside of our box. So we might want to go -6 inches plus that 5 millimeters again. Whoops, wrong. Minus 5 millimeters. And now it's on the other side there. And we'll hit OK. Alright, that's all for this video. We'll work on doing some of the subtraction, but it's actually very, very similar to this. I would give it a try, and then you can create tabs for your sides here, and then pattern those as well. Alright, thanks.